So again, thank you for joining us. I'm Dr. Ari Ben Chaim, the head of Mofet's Online Academy, and with me, Dr. Riki Greenberg. We are welcome you to this webinar of Mofet's Online Academy. The subject of the webinar is open access data, how to locate openly available data and resources on the web. I hope that you will find it interesting. I will introduce our lecturer, Dr. Riki Greenberg. Dr. Greenberg holds a PhD degree in information science from the Department of Information Science at Bar-Ilan University, Israel. She works as a reference and IT librarian at the University of Haifa. She has been a qualified lecturer in information science and technology for the last 15 years and is also employed as a teacher at the Western Galil Academic College in Israel. She is a member of the editorial board of Israel's Journal of Information Science, Meidat, a special consultant for the Ministry of Education Electronic Books Project, and the winner of the Finkler Award for Special Research in Information Science. Mrs. Greenberg has published articles in English and in Hebrew in peer-reviewed journals. Her main research interests include information behavior, information search, digital log analysis, academic libraries, and students' information needs. If you have any question during the webinar, please write in the chat area. All the webinar is recording, so I hope that it will be interesting, I'm sure. Riki, the microphone is yours.
Okay, thank you. And thank you for joining us this evening in Israel. I don't know whatever time zones you are, so everybody is welcome. I'll start show just a minute. Okay, just tell me if you can see it. Okay. So let's talk about open access, a bit about open data, open educational resources. This presentation is part of the information literacy course that we're having in Mofet International School, as you can see. The course contains mainly information search, basic and advanced techniques, invisible web, new media, ebooks, e-commerce, economic information, and other nice things to know. And today, this evening, we'll speak about the concept of open access, some basic strengths and not weaknesses, but maybe challenges of open access movement. The most important part will be how to search and retrieve open access materials straight to your computer, about copyright issues, free academic courses, open educational courses, Moocs, and about open data. So let's start with the first issue, the open access. And we're talking here especially about open access for academic materials. So all this movement began a few years ago, and it happened because of a few things, but mainly the idea was that everyone should be able to read scientific publications without hindrance. That means that I want to share my paper with you, so I'll just put it on open access periodical and you can read it and share it with others. You don't need to pay for it because I'm not getting any reward for me publishing, so you can enjoy my thoughts and ideas and research without any hindrance. So UNESCO published the definition of open access, And it says that it means free access to information and unrestricted use of electronic resources for everyone. So let's see what it's all about. This is our first.
Imagine you've just finished your creation and want to share it with the world. You could stand on a soapbox and shout your message. You could publish your article in a traditional journal. A few people can read it, and you no longer have control of your own work. Or you could share your work with the world through open access and make a real impact on society. So what is open access? The Berlin Declaration on Open Access to Knowledge in the Sciences and Humanities states that open access is free access to information and the license to copy. That is a mouthful. Let's break it down. Open access means the creators place their work on the internet for public use free of charge and free of most copyright barriers. Anyone can read it, cite it, and reuse it. There are several ways to share your work using open access. You can publish via a publisher by following the golden or green road, or you can publish it on your own using a license. When following the golden road, your creation is published via a publisher as an article in a journal or magazine. Work shared via a publisher can cost money. This fee is known as an article processing charge, or APC for short. The APC is to ensure your article receives the same treatment as those articles published traditionally, while allowing publishers to compensate for what they would otherwise make with subscription costs. Sometimes the published article can then be deposited in your institution's repository, or the repository required by your discipline. Sometimes versions of the article can be deposited into a repository for future use, even after having been published in the traditional way. This is known as the open access green road. Versions can be preprint or postprint, both author's versions or publisher's version. Depositing of one of these versions is usually allowed after an embargo period. An embargo period is the length of time you need to wait before making a version of your article public on the internet. Sherpa Romeo gives you a concise description of which version of your article can be deposited and when it can be made public. You can openly distribute your work with a license on your own. Work you share yourself is free of charge. Articles or versions thereof made public without a license can only be read and cited. In order to use the work in education, new research, or any other form of reusing the work, a license must be attached. The most commonly used license is a Creative Commons license. Creative Commons licenses, also known as...
Okay, this was a glimpse about open access. And now let's talk about how it really works. So open access literature is digital, online, free of charge, and free of most copyright and licensing restrictions. Works are still covered by copyright law, but open access terms apply to allow sharing and reuse, and we'll talk about it in a few minutes, how to do it. All major open access initiatives for scientific and scholarly literature insist on the importance of peer reviewed. And this is very important because you know the scientific work must be peer reviewed. This is what it all has in the last, I don't know, 100, 200 years ago. So it was important for the people of the open access movement to keep the peer reviewed process also for the open access literature. The open access is also very easy to share. And then we have now this short video about why publish an open access book, and you are welcome to watch it later. And when we talk about open access statistics to see how many of the researchers in the world now use open access, we can see that it's growing as we speak. It's a movement about 10 years ago from 2012, and since then a lot of things happen to a lot of people, and see while we are talking, so you can see these numbers of these countries. Here we have the number of funders with policies, archiving by type of mandate. Here we have the number of archiving policies. And again, you're welcome to watch it after our short webinar. But as you can see, a lot of happening in this area now in the world of in the academic world. So there are basic types of open access. We'll talk about the most frequent one. There are 3 of them. The green one refers to the self-archiving, generally of pre-post or print, preprint repositories. We'll see them later, some of these repositories. Very, very interesting. It's the first time really that you can look for a preprint searches or preprint of other people in the world in very nice repositories. We can see it later. The gold type refers to articles in fully accessible open access journals. These are special journals that only publish in open access. And there's the hybrid. The hybrid costs money, but it's called paid open access. But who pays the open access material? We do, the authors. The author has to pay the publisher, and then the publisher can put it on open access periodical. It's much harder for the authors, but usually the universities or the governments pay for this, pay this charge for the publishers. So the publishers are safe, and the author gets his open access to the world. But it still costs a lot of money, and I think last time that I heard on Nature, the famous periodical, it costs $5,000 per one article, which is amazing, amazingly high. But well, this is how it is if you want to publish on Nature in open access. So the hybrid idea refers to subscriptions journals with open access to individual articles, usual when a fee is paid to the publisher or the journal by the author's organization, or the research fund. So, but it's important to know that open access is not open source. Open source is applied to computer software. Open content applied to non-scholarly content, maybe some of it's scholarly, but not all of it. Open data, we'll talk about it later, moving to support sharing research data. Very nice, very important movement. We'll talk about it later in our webinar today. And it's not free of access because no charge to access, but all rights may be reserved. I mean, you can access, but sometimes we have the right reserved and you have to follow the restrictions. Sadly enough, there is a concentration of ownership of the whole scholarly literature in the world. Nearly 50% of the content belongs to 5 major publishers, Elsevier, Wiley, Springer, Taylor and Francis, and Sage, and maybe there are some more, but these are, I mean, 50% of the content for 5 major publishers. This is amazing. So what this organization, what the open access organization tried to do, it just to prevent it from being the owner of everything, and to let people read your work and to let you publish your work, so everybody can read it worldwide, and you don't have to be attached to one of these big publishers. Why does it happen, the open access? The origin came because of the crisis in the scholarly communication, declining of collection budget. Libraries has no longer so much budget to spend on the collections of the publishers, more demand for new or expensive resources, increased pricing of serials, electronic resources, and of course the rise of the internet and the World Wide Web, so rapid dissemination of news search, better connectivity between the scholars, all these made it happen, made it possible. Open access today means that major universities around the world mandate open access deposits of faculty works. So if you're one of the faculty member, you have to open access your publishing, your researches. You can open access it through the deposit in your own university, your own government, or other subject repositories that you can use around the world. We'll look in a minute on the directory of open access journals, which means these are journals that dedicate themselves only to open access material. And later we'll talk about the directory of the repository. So if you don't find your research, or if you want to find something and you want to search in more than the open access journals, you can also find it in the repositories. And again, the repositories belong to this idea that faculty members need to deposit their research on repositories. The repositories can be, as I mentioned, they can be university, they can be government, or they can be subject-oriented. We'll talk about it in a minute. And the last, before we go to the to find and to look for search for open access materials, this is when I was working on our webinar, I found this report. This report came out 3 weeks ago. This is the Open Content Survey report. You have here this link, so you can read it later. And it discovers everything about all the open access that you can look today. Very nice, very well organized. This is all for you. Table of content, as you can see. Open access scholarly content produced within your institution, outside the institution, content produced within your institution about open data, open educational resources. Very nice. Only came out, and I think it's very, very interesting. And so I added it here. Okay. Next, we'll go to the search of these materials. There are several search engines to search these databases of open access. We'll mention only I think the first 3 that are more popular. The first one is just the brand new one. It's got, it became visible to the world in January, the end of January 2020. Open access content on one seamless and easy to use platform. This is the goal of the Open Research Library. Remember this name, Open Research Library, very nice, a brand new one, which has officially launched today. This is when the press release came out on Berlin, as I mentioned before, 6 months from before. So this is the Open Research Library. Let's hope that the internet won't fail us. Maybe we'll go open just a minute. Takes him too long. Wait. Okay, stuck. Oh, okay, here it is. Oh, okay. So we'll just take it from here. Just a minute. Sorry about that, guys. It's just oops. Oh, well. So this is the Open Research Library. As you can see, it divides itself to subjects. You can also search or use the advanced search. Let's search for, I don't know, let's say open access. Let's see the materials it can offer us. Okay, so we found 4,832 open access materials regarding my question about open access. So open access in the library, open access. Open access, as you can see, you can read it, you can find details, and you can download it to your computer. Let's look on the first one. It's a book. These are full details of the book, how to cite it, comments also found in, so you can look and share it with others, you can rate it, or whatever you want to do with it. You can also, and here's the download, you can also use this refine to see if you want by category, content type, contributor, publication year, language. Let's talk about the language. Let's use the English. Apply. So it will narrow it only 4,496. So you can see everything here, and you can download the book. Nothing is linear about Open Access Initiative, promoting open access in new research institutions. Let's download it, see how simple it is. As you can see, here we are, and it's about what the content of the book. Very nice, very well organized. So this was the Open Research Library. There are a few ads-on that I wanted to share with you. The ads-on, you have to download it to your browser. Usually the Chrome browser will be the best one to do it. So the most famous browser add-on is the Google Scholar button, which you can download from here. Just put on the link for it. It lets you use and highlight the phrase that you highlight in an article that you read. It will search you automatically in Google Scholar and find you a PDF version that authors has posted. For example, on altmetrics like impact based on diverse online research output like ResearchGate or others. It's a very nice add-on. I have it and I use it. I also use this one, which is very, very nice. This is an add-on of the Unpay Wall. Look at the name, Unpay Wall. So this is also an add-on which you can use legally. Look for an article by this browser plugin. It exploits the fact that certain people, such as authors and publications, are generally acting within their rights to make the PDF, to upload a PDF available elsewhere in their own website, in their university website, in their library website, maybe as a preprint for their colleagues. Anyway, this very nice add-on, just unpaywall.org uses it, and it is a very nice way to look for other PDF on open access. Okay, this is how it looks like. Open database of 26 million free scholarly articles. Let's go inside the Unpay Wall. Okay. Start here by enterprise research. Used and trusted by top organizations means it's very legal. Harvard University, British Library, Internet Archive, Web of Science, Zotero, everybody uses it. It's very nice. Easy access for everyone, and you just need to get started by downloading this add-on. It will look like this. Just put for you a screenshot. So this is an article as what I was interested in. So as you can see in Google Scholar, this was to subscribe a journal, and this was to rent or buy an article, $9. But here you see this mark, this very nice mark, a green one with an open access icon. So when you press it, you can see the whole article. It looks for the article in the preprint or in the author private website, and you can download it to your computer. Okay, so this one, the add-ons, is very, very nice and very practical way to use the open access. Now I want to introduce you to Base. Base is one of the world's most voluminous search engines, especially for academic open access web resources. It is operated by the Yale University Library. Okay, let's go into it. And it also has very nice feature, a new feature that I'll show you in a minute, but just look at this nice thing. Let's just write it open. Access. Okay. So it will look for okay. It will look for articles. Okay, and see how nice you can sort your results. You can sort it by relevancy or by author or by subject or by EDC visible librarians, they love it. Your publication, content provider, language, whatever you want, so many nice modifications to do to your search, to your results. Okay, so look at these nice descriptions that you can write about, you can read the description of this open access item. And as you see the icon that we love to see, it is open for us just to download, so we can view details. We can email this to a friend, or we can just download it to our computer and start to use it. As I mentioned, you can modify your search very nicely, very nice advanced search navigation that you can see here. Okay, and look at this number, very, very nice. We found 19 million articles or items that the word open access is inside. Very nice, this very nice search engines called Base. And Base has another very nice feature just presented a few months ago, the Open Knowledge Maps. It presents you with a topical overview of this research of open access movement based on 100 papers taken from Base. So let's see how it looks like. Very, very nice. Okay, so this is, you see, I put on the open access movement, and you see this is the, I don't know, the visual map. So every time you just have to press one of them, and it will show you open access journals, academic publication, electronic journals, whatever you want to use in this very open map for your use. Very nice feature, I like it, and I try to use it even more often now. And of course, we cannot talk about open access without discover some reliable COVID-19 research. We have an enormous amount of publications about COVID-19. This one I took from the Open Knowledge Maps. This is only one of them. So discover reliable COVID-19 research. Let's see the knowledge map of COVID-19. Okay, so as I mentioned before, you just have to press the vaccines, for example, which we are all very interested in, and you can see the latest, like here, published in 2020. I mean, I guess most of it. So you can use, by clicking this, as you can see, it's open access, you can read this article and look for other things. Back to overview, will be here. And here, of course, whatever you, if you click about one of them, it will appear here, and you can use it and download it to your computer. So this was a short review of the knowledge map. Very nice feature, very nice feature. And now we're going to Doage. Doage, I think it's the first one. The first one. We have questions. Let's see, because I see something is blinking Arya, can you see if we have questions? Something blinked me.
Not yet, but
So
you can see the chat about noises from your microphone.
from
Not
my microphone.
a little bit, not.
Oh. Well, I didn't touch anything. I hope.
I hear okay, but.
I'm sorry for that. Maybe I can speak loudly. Louder is better. Just raise the hand or something, so I feel improving. Okay, so let's talk about Doaj. Doaj, I think it's the most you can, when you think about open access journals or open access search engine, you think about Doaj. I think it was the first one. It's a director of open access journals. Now, mind you, it's only journals, the open access journals. You remember that we talked in the beginning about the way that you can publish your open access. So we talked about the green, and we talked about the gold, and we talked about the hybrid. So this is the gold one. So you publish your article in open access, in an open access journal. So let's go to see Doaj. Okay, so let's see this nice clip about it, and then we'll go inside the search engine.
Hello everyone, my name is Heather and this is my YouTube channel, and today I'm going to be telling you about the Directory of Open Access Journals. Now, from here on out, I'm going to be calling it DOAJ, and this is a community curated online directory of indexes, journals, and this is a location to find high quality, peer-reviewed, data-driven, scholarly journals, periodicals, articles, all in different areas of research, materials. You pretty much can find all different types of stuff here, and everything is openly accessible and freely available. There's over 10,000 journals. All of them are available and searchable. They're from over 100 different countries, and you've got over 2 million articles available for you here. You also have multiple languages. You have all different types of information that you can find here. And this is a great place to be able to search for data-driven, research-driven articles that are all available with an easy search tool to be able to find in one location. Easy to use, easy to find. You can use your search tool, which is where we're at right now. You can browse by subject. You can look at all different areas in their list for the subject, easy to use. I like the search tool myself, just to be able to find, use, and search. You can go this way, and you can go by subject, DOAJ seals. You can look at the journal licenses, but that's probably not what you're interested in. Easiest thing to do is to search in the search box. And so as normal, I'm going to do teenagers in politics today. And then we can do a search. We can also do an advanced search, which would allow us to use other terms or to combine terms with our Boolean searches like and or. And then we can look through and see what we have. Now you're going to see other languages in this particular tool. So you can look at things such as adolescent fathers and mothers and parenting. You're going to find things in other languages such as Spanish. You're going to find other things in all different types of languages such as Slavic. Dressing the black body, mode, hairstyle. So not everything is about politics. So if we're not finding exactly what we want, we can actually go back home and we can do our search. So as you notice, I'm not giving up. I might want to try a different type of search. I can do different things in relevance. I can do different searches. I can share and I can bed. I can search all. I can do different search terms. Teens in politics only gives me 2, reconsidering teenage pregnancy and parenthood. If I put in teenagers and if I put in politics, of course, it's going to give me a lot. So it gives me all different types of things when I look in here. Classroom, climate, teenagers as a moving target. Can teenagers be encouraged to accept treatment? Let's look at teenagers and learning, just for fun. That gives me over 2,000 articles. No, actually, I'm sorry, that gives me 124 articles. So that gives me the learning process of students, learning to be Muslim, museums as spaces, psychological resources, And then if you click on the arrow down here at the bottom, that gives me even more information. So my original piece just on teenagers and politics, I'm not finding as much. So if I look for just politics, that gives me 3,000 results. So I get fan action in the Colbert Report. But if I want to actually look at the different languages, you can actually narrow it down over here on the left side. You can look at publishers, the subjects, the full language count. And if I only want to see what's in English, I can bring that out. You're still going to get some things in other languages just because the article may be in English, but the title may not be. The title may be in English, but the article may not be. Things along those lines. And so this is just an option of a place to look for open accessible.
Okay, so I think you got the idea. And let's go inside and see what's it all about, how it looks like. Very nice. Okay, so as you can see, this is amazing directory, very big one, very comprehensive one. It's very easy to use. They use one search box, as they mentioned now in the short video. You can use the advanced search also, and you can narrow your search to main subject or a journal license or specific publisher. And you can see we have 15,000 journals, how to fit 5 million articles. This is a very important search engines that you may want to use. I believe, as a reference librarian, I believe that if you want to look for an update material, you cannot miss the thesis database. There are some thesis databases that you can use. I will introduce you now for the major two, I think, the major open thesis databases. Let's start with the thesiscommon.org. This is a very nice one. You can browse by subject, or you can just start search your thesis by string, or you can add.
Riki, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
We have 2 questions in the chat if you want to look.
Yes, I'll stop sharing, and then I can look maybe on the chat. No, you have to just read it to me because I can't see it very clearly.
Michal Ben Yaakov asks, do you have to register to use the OAG or use it through academic institution?
No. You can use it from your computer, from your laptop, from your phone. No, there is no need to identify yourself as a member of an academic institution. No, it's very open access to everybody.
And the question of Daphne, how do you get peer-reviewed papers only?
How do you get peer-reviewed what?
Papers only.
Papers only mean journals, mean articles. You can limit your search only to articles on the DOAJ. I get this was the question about the DOAJ. So yes, maybe I can show it here. So you can search all, or you can search by keywords, publisher, journal, or articles. So I think that this may answer your question. Yes, and you can sort, of course, by the publication date, the title, date added to DOAJ. Yes, but you can. I think the advanced search options are very nice here, and you can access it, as I said, from everywhere, not from your academic institutions. So yes, you can narrow it only to. I mean, these are all articles, so I guess the question is when you see that it is only used for journals, so you can search here only for journals, only for articles. I hope this is more clear. I hope I made myself clear now. If you have something else to ask, please don't hesitate to ask me. Okay. So let's go back. Okay, so we were in the open thesis database. So this is how it looks like, the thesis common, the open archive for thesis. And if you look for an academic library, for example, so you can find here my PhD work, but you can also find, and you can limit it again by major subjects. Here the advanced search, I think it's much less comprehensive. You can sort only by relevance, by modified search added to this database, but still you can find all theses that people uploaded here. And I find it very nice and very important place to look for, especially if you have to do a literature review and to find out if someone else did a review about your research. It's a very important place to look for your thesis, PhD thesis and even master thesis. So this is one of the engines, and you can also look, of course, on the PQDT Open, which belongs to ProQuest. ProQuest, as I mentioned before, is one of the major publishers in the world. It created an open access for a open thesis database. You can read the full text of open access dissertation and thesis free of charge. Of course, if someone uploaded its thesis or dissertation, it has to pay. So you can look for it in a free way. But
Riki, can you hear me?
yes, I can.
Can you try to raise your voice or the volume in your PC a little bit?
Oh my God, let's see. I guess I can. In my PC it's full, but let's see here. Let's see, speak here. Audio settings. Okay.
Okay,
Better now? No.
I think yes, maybe yes.
Yes? Okay.
Mhm.
Okay. Let's stop sharing the screen and see if I have another option to speak. No, I did my best. It's all on maximum. Okay. Sorry for that. I'm trying to keep my voice louder. Okay. So, just a minute. I want to share my screen again with you. Okay, so we were in the PQDT Open, which is the Open Access Dissertations and Thesis. And when we look here for academic library, we can filter it by year, more search options, by author, title of dissertation, publication number, institution, advisor of this publication, and keywords. I'm using the keywords. Let's search. Again, it belongs to ProQuest, as you can see. So creating academic libraries place of the 21st century, we can use the full text and just read it here. Very easy. All these databases are very easy to download. They open the full text, which is very important for us as users. So these were the PQDT. And of course, may I remind you that if you want to find more dissertation and thesis that people did not pay for to upload it as open access, so you can use the ProQuest dissertation and thesis database, which will cost money probably for your library or university. So they say here you can find many other dissertation and thesis for your research needs. Check with your library. Many libraries subscribe to ProQuest dissertation and made it available for you free of charge. Of course, for you free of charge, but the library will have to pay a lot of money for you. And again, if you look in this dissertation and thesis database, you can find only the 24 first pages of this dissertation. If you want the full dissertation, you will have to order the copy through the Dissertation Express navigation. So take it, but again, if you want to do a massive literature review, you will have to use this one as well, together with the PQDT and the thesis comments I showed before. And we mentioned the preprints. So here we will introduce you with two preprints databases. The first one is called PeerJ. And the reason that it's called PeerJ, because this is the place that the researcher put his work for other people to review. So this is the peer review, PeerJ. PeerJ stands for peer journal. So these are our preprints, as you can see. You can see by date. You can look for the past 90 days, past 60 days, last week, last day, past year or any time. Let's look on this year. And we will search for, I don't know, let's talk about the COVID. Let's see, it has something preprint on COVID-19. I have no idea. Oh, peer journal, I guess it will be biochemistry, PeerJ journal. No, it didn't find anything. Well, maybe they don't call it like that, or I did something wrong here, but believe me, I use it every day and it's very nice. It's a brand new one, by the way, so it contains maybe not so much preprints, but I think it's this whole area of field of research is now developing, and we will start to see more and more people uploading their work for others to peer it, to review it. So this was the PeerJ, and we have another one called bioarchive, and again preprint server for biology. It's the same idea. You will probably find a lot of COVID-19. And the last one I wanted to show you, we'll call preprint archive search, powered by Offspring-Prints. Again, a nice database that you can look. Here you can see much more preprints searchable. As of August 27, 2002, I took it 2 days ago. This is why this date is here. But also very nice place to work for, to look for preprints. Especially, I think the people from science and technology or medicine will find preprints interesting. I think the people from humanities or social science will be less interested in preprints due to the time, the importance of time in science, and physics, and medical information. So the preprints was maybe born for them. And in the end, I didn't want to end this part without telling you what to do with all the things that you collect in the database that we saw. So after locating the papers and downloading the PDFs, you might be interested in organizing it to your own local repository, your remote or desktop computer. So it is no good just to simply dump all PDFs in a folder and write down literature references in a list by hand. We have various tools that exist for this to arrange or manage your literature. I think the most common one is Mendeley, the one I use. Or Zotero is also one of the most famous. We have, I think, 4 more, but I found it, I thought only to mention these 2 for you. So Mendeley, if we look into his website, you can see it's very nice. You can download it. It's like an app, a very nice thing to do. It just offers me my new publications. Mendeley covers everything that is published with Google Scholar, and here Elsevier, a very nice, very important tool. At present, the most popular of these probably is Mendeley. It has several virtues. It allows you to import a citation entry from a variety of search engines, as well as publisher web pages with a single button press. It allows you to make shared bibliographies that you can organize collaboratively. It has a plugin, this is the one I use, for Microsoft Word that allows you to insert literature citations directly into the manuscript that you are working on, which then will be formatted according to the selected citation style, like APA, MLA, or whatever you need. And what about copyright? As after being in all these very nice databases, so copyright. So here we'll, in the open access literature, we use Creative Commons licensing. This is the alternative to all rights reserved. This is a standard license that makes it easy for authors to share their work with some rights reserved. It allows you to choose the terms of future use of your work and balance between open access and protection your interest. So how does this work? Commons.
When you share your creativity,
you're enabling people anywhere to use it,
learn from it,
and be inspired by it. Pick the teacher who shapes young minds with work and wisdom from around the globe,
and the artist who builds beauty from bits and pieces she finds online,
and the writer whose stories use ideas and images crafted by people you'd never even met.
These people know that when you share your creative wealth, you can accomplish great things.
They
and millions of
other people
all around the planet
are working together
to build a richer, more
vibrant culture.
Using Creative Commons.
To understand Creative Commons, you need to know a little bit about how copyright works.
Did you know that when you create something from a photograph
To a song,
to a drawing
to a film,
to a story, you automatically own an all rights reserved copyright to that creativity?
it's true. Copyright protects your creativity against uses you don't consent to.
But sometimes full copyright is too restrictive.
What about when you want those millions and millions of people out there to use your work without the hassle of coming to you for permission?
What if you wanted to be shared, reused, and built upon by the rest of the world? Luckily, there is an answer.
Creative Commons. We provide free copyright licenses you can use to tell people exactly which parts of your copyright you're happy to give to the public.
It's easy. It only takes a minute.
And it's totally free.
Just come to our website and answer a few quick questions like,
Will you allow commercial uses of your work?
and
Will you allow your work to be modified?
based on your answers, we'll give you a license that clearly communicates what people can and can't do with your creativity.
You don't give up your copyright, you refine it so it works better for you.
Welcome to a new world where collaboration rules.
It didn't even exist just a few years ago, but now there are millions and millions of songs,
Features,
videos
and written works
available to share.
reuse and remix, all for free. Want to work together? Then join the Commons. Creative Commons.
Okay, so, and I put it also here, so you can use the official website. We don't have time for it now, but you're welcome to just look at this link and to find the official website. And it is very, very easy just to create your own license by pressing and checking 1, 2, 3 boxes, and then it will produce you your own Creative Commons rights. The last thing I want to talk about in the open access idea is the OAI, the Open Archives Initiatives. This develops and promotes interoperability of standards that aim to facilitate the efficient dissemination of content. So why is that necessary? Well, if we want to publish our article, we will have to use a certain standard. And this very nice, I think, initiative, the Open Archive OAI, allows you to see what are the rules. So if you want to publish an article, a book, in open access. So it has everything for in repositories, and it will tell you exactly what to do and how to do it, and if to put first your surname or your first name, or to put your organization first or whatever. So this is the standard of everything in open access. It's very important when we speak about open access in academia. Okay, so if you have questions about open access, this is the time, and if not, we will go quickly to open data. So if you have questions, please raise your hand, or so we can write in the chat box so we can see it now. Okay, moving to our next subject, open data. Open data is the idea that some data should be freely available to everyone to use and republish as they wish, without restrictions from copyright, patents, or other mechanisms of control. Let's see a quick explanation of this initiative. What is open data?
What is open data? This short library video will introduce you to the basics of open data. You will learn what open data is, how it's formatted, and who makes it available. Open data is data that is openly available and free for you to use. This means that someone or an organization has already taken care of the technical and legal considerations that are needed to allow the data to be freely used, reused, and shared by anyone, anytime, anywhere. Typically, open data is structured. This means that the data is already organized so that the computer software can read it easily. Most open data is in a machine-readable format. These are some common formats of open data: comma-separated value files, or CSV files, JavaScript object notation, or JSON, application programming interface, or APIs, shapefiles, extensible markup language, or XML. Sometimes open data is presented in other formats, such as PDFs and HTML pages. These formats make it difficult and sometimes impossible for a computer to read the data. With machine-readable data, computer software can repurpose, synthesize, and model the data to analyze and generate insights. A lot of people and organizations use open data to develop apps. Open data covers a range of subject areas, including arts and culture, data about collections held by galleries, libraries, archives, and museums. Science, data generated from scientific research, from agriculture to zoology. Environment, data generated from the environment, including level of pollutants, levels of precipitation, temperatures, and much more. Now that you know what open data is, how it's formatted, and who makes it available, you can consider using this data for your own research or making your own data open and available for others to use. For more information about...
Okay, so this was the open data. Open data initiative, very, I would say now very popular these days, especially in science. It may include non-textual materials such as maps, genomes, connectomes, chemical compounds, mathematical and scientific formulas, medical data and practice, and other. There are open data initiatives in various subjects on science data and open government. I think open government will be a very interesting one for you to look. Open databases, we have, wow, many of them. This is a short video about open data in the Netherlands, in New Zealand. But I want to show you the open data resources. This very nice website offers you some ideas and guides how to use open data. It calls Open Knowledge International. And it has the basics, policy standards, how to use, to protect privacy, right for information, data training. It's a very cumulative portal, which allows you to look and see how you can open short introduction to open data, technical guidelines to publish open data, basic principles of open data that provide a lens to evaluate the extent to which government data is open and accessible to the public. So I suggest if you want to use open data, or just let some of your researchers or your faculty use it. So first, let them go to this open data handbook and find out what they need to do. And we cannot live without example for open data resources. So let's go to this Learning Hub, the 50 best open data sources ready to be used right now. Open data, no, I wanted this one. I didn't do any link. Okay, so just Google it. 50 best open data sources ready to be used right now. And then you can see data from governments. These are the most exciting one, I would say. I guess now in the COVID-19, a lot of researchers use this open data to see why the virus, what is its behavior through all the various geographic climate or hydrated places or cold places or warm places. I guess this will be the place to look now to find data and start to use it. This was the open data. And last but not least, the Open Science Prize. This is an annually competition of open data sharing with others. So you can see these are the nominees for this year, and you can vote and say which one was the best or the most popular and the most helpful one. Let's see, like this, My Gene 2, accelerating gene discovery and radically open data sharing. Approximately 350 million people worldwide and over 30 million Americans have rare diseases. And this data, open data sharing, may help to test them or provide them with the idea how to check what they need. And they have a video for you to see and decide if they're, and you see these are the team, the contact name, contact email, and you can vote for them. I never vote because I have no idea, because I'm not from the science area, but I think it's very important that people can share their ideas, and then someone can vote for them, and I think they have a very nice prize for the winner. Last year it was something about animals. I think this year they have the Fruit Fly Brain Observatory. So it's a very nice thing to look for. Okay, moving now to our last subject, the open educational resources.
Riki, can you hear me?
Ken, yes, I hear you.
We have one question from Daphne. How do we know if the data is reliable, not manipulated by some organizations?
Okay, so you have to look for the source of the data. Any data can have will suggest you with the source. Usually, we will look for governmental data or for universities, organizations data. We will seldom see data published from private places. So I would say if we trust our governments, which I'm not sure we do, but if we do, so it will probably be the best place to look for on governmental data, and if not on organizations like universities, medical places. But definitely, it's a good question. You need to check the background of the data. You need to see which organization published it, and if they published it and you think they are reliable, so you can use it. I would say that in the last 5 years, it has been more popular, and most of the data is governmental. Even I would say cross-governmental, like the UN publishes a lot of open data. The European Union publishes a lot of open data. Here in Israel, we have also the Office of the Chief Scientist, which is governmental, has an open database for other people to use. A very interested one. I once looked with my students about aggregation and about agriculture things, and when they say people, and by the way, we didn't mention the term of big data. Well, part of the big data is transferred to the open data by someone who did the research, and then you can use this big data through the open data and manipulate it and use it for your own research. But yes, thank you for the question. You have to make sure that the data is reliable by the source of it. I hope I answered.
Another question, maybe you mentioned part of it, but Beverly, question from Beverly, do Israel government ministries provide open data?
Well, we have in Israel what we call wait, I'll translate it, the law of the freedom of information. So when a governmental office uses data about us, the citizens, it should be open for us to reuse. So I didn't check all the data that was, except for security, because here in Israel, security is a buzzword, very important one. So you cannot use the thing about our security. But other than that, agriculture, climate, censorship about data about population, education. Yes, there are open data. And here, as I mentioned before, on the chief scientist managed by the government. So the answer is yes. More questions?
No, thanks.
It's a very important thing, this open data. So let's go through open educational resources. So the open educational resources are teaching, learning, and research materials in any medium, digital or otherwise, that reside the public domain or have been released under an open license that permits no-cost access, use, adaptation, redistribution by others with no or limited restriction. This, by the way, is the definition of UNESCO from 2020. Open educational resources form part of the open solutions alongside with free and open source software, open access, and open data. And crowdsourcing platforms, we spoke about 3 of it. Crowdsourcing, maybe in the course, we mentioned it very earlier. Okay, so let's see some examples. So MIT OpenCourseWare, I think, was the first one to establish this open education resources. So if we go inside MIT, you will find courses by topic, and then energy, and then energy climate, and you can see here the course they offer, and you can go inside each one of them, and you can just start to learn, get started. I did, I think, 2 courses. Was very interested, though it wasn't easy for me. Well, my English is not native, and unfortunately, I have my mother tongue is Hebrew, so I found it a bit challenging to participate in this course. But as you can see, everyone can learn and participate on MIT. So it's nothing less than amazing in my. From my point of view. And we have this amazing big site. I know I use a lot of word amazing, but I really think part of these things are amazing. So this is the Open Education Resources Portal. Look at this nice thing. It explores, create, and collaborate a lot of resources for you to use. So what are you looking for in the subject? Applied sciences. Let's go to social science. Education level. Well, let's go for preschool. And who's the owner? But I don't really care. Then start to search. And it will offer me 14 results for kindergarten children that will learn them how to, like African storybook, I don't know, because the subjects are art and humanities, only sharing permitted. We can look on this one. So the description, teacher example template, it goes for preschool, lower, evaluation, it has that, and you can just download your resource and download it and use it as the author meant to be used. There are millions of resources here that you can use very easily. You can also rate it, so if you use it by rating, you see the African storybook is very, very populated, very popular here in this specific kindergarten thing that we wanted to look for. And you can save it, you can download it, you can share it, or whatever you want to do with it, as you can see. Very nice, 210 languages. 1,449 storybooks. The translation did for it. This is an open access to picture storybook in the languages of Africa for children, literacy, enjoyment, and imagination. Can it be more lovely than this? And this is only one example, and you can find it like real treasures for educators. This open educational resources library. Okay, and then our last subject will be the Moocs, massive open online courses.
Riki, can you hear me?
Yes, sure.
We have a question from Rachel. Can you please expand on the use of Open Archives Initiative, OAI?
Open Archive Initiative. The Open Archive Initiative makes standards for open access publication. So if you want to publish an article, a book, a video, or whatever, there are standards, international standards, just to make things in order. So so if you want to do something open access, you won't do it your own way. You will have to use the Open Access Initiative, the OAI standards. So it will tell you exactly in one language how to use the XML, how to use the JPEGs, if to write it in capital, to write it in small letters, if to write in, I don't know, to put the use of Java, JavaScript, MATLAB, I don't know, it will give you the exact standards how to publish things in open access literature. Is it now clearer? I hope I clarified. But it's very important for us in the open access to have standards. Ariel? Okay?
Yes, it is okay.
So we are in the massive open online courses, the Moocs. So the definition of Moocs is a course of study made available over the internet without charge to a very large number of people. Now, when I speak of very large, I myself took a course about the history of the internet. I took it with my students together, and we did some peer review that work there. And we saw that there are some, I don't know, like 20,000 people doing the same course with us. It was unbelievable. And when we started the course and we had some works that we need to do, some, it's not exactly test assignments. So who checked the assignments? We checked one another. So I checked one Chinese student, and someone from Peru checked mine. And it's very interesting the way that the communication between the students in the Moocs. But when we say very large number of people, it's a large number of people. Anyone who decides to take your MOOC simply logs on to the website and signs up. Now, of course, you have to sign up for the MOOC that begins in these next weeks. You cannot just log on and start the MOOC that started 2 weeks ago. This is very restricted policy that you can, but you can definitely start with others in the same date. So MOOCs, this is a very nice graphic of the MOOCs. So what is massive? 100, 1,000, 10,000, or 100,000, which is open registration, self-paced start and end dates. You can get college credits, by the way, but it is not for free. If you want a credit, you have to tell it in the beginning when you log on to the MOOC. You say, I want a credit, and they will charge you according to the course, and you can get credits from this college or university, whoever is responsible for the MOOCs. Learning communities, affordable open content free of charge. Very nice, this whole idea of MOOC. By the way, for the Israeli people here in the webinar, we have some MOOCs in Israel. All the universities, I think all the universities in Israel created their own MOOCs. In Haifa University, I know we have about 12 MOOCs. In the Technion, they have about 25 MOOCs. In Tel Aviv University, in Bar-Ilan University. So there are available MOOCs also in Israel and also in Hebrew. MOOCs are development of distance education, which began emerged in 2012. By the way, one of the first initiators was an Israeli scholar doing her post-doctoral period in New York, I think. So let's look about one of the portals. This is the YouTube presentation.
Want to sell online? Go to Wix.com today and do it like this guy.
Oh my God!
Okay, sorry for the publicity.
Every few seconds, the ticker on the Coursera website moves up as 70,000 new students a week enroll in courses like Human-Computer Interaction, Introduction to Astronomy, and Modern Poetry, all offered by top-tier universities.
I've been teaching a class similar to this at Duke for 10 years, and I'm excited about the opportunity to offer it to many more students through this online venue.
Welcome to the brave new world of massive open online courses, known as Moocs, a tool for democratizing higher education.
So welcome to the Artificial Intelligence class on
The Mooc is usually free, creditless, and massive. Moocs first landed in the spotlight last year when Sebastian Grun, a Stanford professor, offered a free artificial intelligence course, attracting 160,000 students in 190 nations. Although only a fraction of students who sign up actually complete the courses, millions of students are now enrolled in hundreds of online courses, including those offered by Udacity, Mr. Grun's spin-off company, edX, a joint venture between Harvard and MIT, and Coursera, a Stanford spin-off that has attracted top universities like Princeton, Columbia, Duke.
Okay, let's talk about the last one, the Coursera. Coursera is offered by Stanford. This is what Coursera looks like. One of the most popular portals for MOOCs. So if you go in, you just have to explore the topic, and then you can just start your MOOC. As I mentioned before, I did some MOOCs.
Riki, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Can you raise again your voice? Or?
Oh, can I hear my? Oh my God! Yeah. Okay. Well, it's the end of the webinar, so my voice is got weaker.
Now it is better. It is better now.
Okay. So here we are in Coursera portal. Coursera portal is one of the major portals of MOOCs around the world. So we can explore a topic, let's say personal development, and these are the most popular career success by UCI, Yale, science of well-being, Arizona State University offers professional certificate for one of these, Chinese for beginners, first step for Koreans, etc., etc. You can filter your results by level, beginners, advanced, language. As you can see, all these languages are available here. Duration is very important because, as they mentioned in the video, most of the students cannot survive all the MOOC because it's very intensive. It's not easy. But you can use it, the duration, to find less than 2 hours, for example. That might be a nice place to start. And the creator, by which university would you like to see? As you can see, a lot of universities are participating on it. So this was the Coursera portal for MOOCs, a very important portal to look for. So let's just sum what we did today. So let me just remind you, these subjects are a small portion of our comprehensive course on information literacy. Well, when I conduct this course, I try to do it as a workshop concept. So we learn about 1, 2, or 3 portals, and then we start to work it online, hands-on. I will give you an assignment, and everyone will join, and we just try to see if it's easy to use, and then they will share with the others what do's and don'ts in this specific database. The studies will concentrate on acquiring and practicing search skills and getting familiar with important information sources, as we did today. And you know what? The course will last about 14 weeks, and it's only the beginning of the information world that I have to tell you, that I will have to offer you, because you have to keep on learning every day, just to keep with this pace of the information world. So the popular search engines, but mostly the invisible web, and the things that we did today, these are the invisible web. You cannot find it through Google or the other web searches that you may be familiar with. Administrative details, the duration of 14 weeks, the learning tools, presentation and guided search assignments, 2 synchronic meetings, graduation diploma from Ofet International Institute. And Ali, if you have anything else to add, this might be the time.
No, just to say thank you very much to Riki. In the coming days, we will receive the recording of this webinar, the presentation, and more details about the course. And thank you for joining us for this webinar. And again, Riki, thank you very much to your lecturer. And if someone have, again, a question, we have 5 minutes.
5 minutes left.
Okay, Alice, we will send you more details about the course.
Let's hope the next time that we are going to meet will be without the COVID-19. Huh? So all the people will use the open data, and we'll start to find the vaccine worth using for all of us. And we have to stay healthy to meet next time virtually. And that's it for me. Thank you and good night from Israel.
Thank you. Have a good day. Bye.
Okay. Bye, everyone. Thank you for joining us.
Bye-bye.